So a while back, if you guys remember, I reviewed the 8BitDo N64 controller. And that's been honestly one of my favorite controllers to use because I love the N64 layout, but the Trident controller just kind of doesn't quite do it for me anymore, especially since we've had a lot of new modern controllers that kind of honed in on what makes a controller comfortable to hold. Well, I have since gotten another one of those 8BitDo controllers. I got the special edition gold one. I like the idea of it all being the one color, but there was something about the original N64 controller that was just kind of a vibe. Having the very colorful buttons on the different shades of the shell there was just something unique and special about that. And they even knew it because a lot of the in-game stuff, whenever they're trying to teach you how to play the games, they tell you what to do. They don't say the right C button, they show you a picture of the yellow button with the arrow pointing to the right. So having something like this, if somebody's new to these games, isn't really going to hit the same, you know? They did fix that with their gray controller that they released because it had the colorful buttons, but they didn't do that with any of the other colors. Instead, they very recently released button packs to where you could buy just the buttons and replace them on your own controllers. And that's what we're gonna be doing today. We're gonna be taking the gold controller that I have here and we're gonna be making it a good bit more colorful by replacing these gold buttons with these very colorful ones. And in doing so, we'll take our controller from looking very sleek with its single color design to something that feels, at least, and looks a bit more authentic. So let's take this guy over to the table and see how difficult of a change this actually is. All right. Let's do it. Now, luckily, as you can tell, I have already done this once, so this actually isn't a super hard mod to do to these controllers. We really only need a few things. You're gonna need a metal spudger of some kind, and you're going to need a set of screwdrivers. I have sang the praises of this iFixit kit numerous times, and I will continue to do so. I'll put a link to it down in the description if you want one for yourself. You will need a T5 Torx bit, and you will need a Phillips driver, and I believe the one that I used previously was this number 1 Phillips driver bit. I think the number 1 will work. You might need the number 0. We'll double check when we get inside. The first thing we got to do is actually very similar to the Xbox controller teardown that we did a long time ago. We got to get these side panels here off. Luckily, these are a lot easier to get off than the Xbox controller was. You're going to take your metal spudger here, and you're going to wedge it underneath the Z button here. Get it kind of between the Z button and the edge. You see the seam here? Get it wedged between the Z button and this wedge, and you can just pry it up. Pops right free. You don't have to take it very far to break it free. And then you're just gonna take and put the edge of that spudger inside the newly opened crack and just slowly work its way. Don't put too much force. You don't want to break anything. I have accidentally broken controllers before doing this. It's not fun. When you get to that point, you can kind of come back over here to the other side, put the spudger underneath there, and just break it out and break it free. And that's one, and we got to do the same thing to the other side. Just remember that that's the right hand one, and we'll be able to get it back on real easily. See? Pops right off. Next up, we're going to need the screwdriver, the Torx bit that we talked about. And there are 6 screws in here. I don't have a monitor for my camera right now, so I can only hope that I'm pointing this out well enough. There's one right here, there's one in here, there's one here, and then there's 3 more in the exact same places on the other side. Here, here, and here. So get those out and put them in a tray somewhere just so they don't get lost. I like to use the lid of the iFixit kit. So now with those all out, we have to pry the back here free from the front plate. And that is done in basically the same way as we did before. We just got to get our pry tool our spudger underneath the casing in a few places and just kind of work it up. See, right like that, and it started coming free. It's just, we got this nice gold face on this, so we want to be careful not to damage this one. Same for any of the colors, really. Just take it slow, and you'll get there eventually. There we go. Now we're starting. Now we're getting there. And then once you break the bottom here free, you should be able to just... Oh, that wasn't good. I like how this worked so very easily for me earlier, and now this one's being a pain. Ah, there we go. Got it. Our L button came off, so let's just shove that back in there, because that is not what we're trying to work with today. Now that that's back in there, go on and take your little mode selector switch out of the way. Now we need to disconnect the vibration motors. Just 2 plugs, one right here and one right here. And those should just be able to be worked out with just a little finesse. They come right out, and then those are taken care of and out of the way. Next thing we got to do is we've got to take the Phillips screws that are holding the board to the front of the controller out. There's 5 of them. It is right here, right here, right here, here, and here. So we'll get those out, and then the board should just pull free. There we go. And now, with all of that free, I told you wrong. You don't really need to disconnect the vibration motors, because it all comes out in one housing. My mistake. And then we are left with our faceplate of the controller, which has all our buttons in it. And that's what we are going to replace. Let's take out our membranes, and we can remove our buttons. Keep these 3 in here. These 3 don't get replaced. They are gonna just, because those are like the plus and minus in the 8BitDo menu button, home button, heart button, whatever you want to call it. Those didn't come with any new thing, because those are 8BitDo buttons, and they're not the N64 buttons. But the rest of them, you can take right out and set them to the side somewhere safe. Now, in here, we have our buttons, we have our D-pad, and we have our control stick. We'll go on and do the control stick first, since that's right here. The stick that comes on the 8BitDo controller is color matched to the body, but we want a proper 64 gray stick. Come on. That just pulls right off, and you can put the new stick onto it. You can see that's that proper N64 gray. That can only go on one direction, as you can see, or one of 2 directions, I guess. It's a circle, but it's slotted on either side, so it's keyed in there. It can only fit one of 2 directions, either like this or 180 degrees, like this. Let's get it started on there and press it down. Give it some force so that way it'll actually press all the way down. And that one is good to go. Next up is the D-pad. And the D-pad's a little special because it's got a bit of an angle to it. So you see how this has this little slot cut out in it right here? See how it has that slot cut in it? That has to wrap around this little bump out right there. You see how it's completely circular around until you hit this one spot right here where it's got this little extrusion. That's what that's gonna go around. So that drops right into place, fits around that, and then we have a properly seated D-pad on the front. Now we're gonna do the buttons. The buttons, luckily, are designed in such a way that they can only go in one way in one spot. So you see how this C button has these 3 bump outs on the back here? Well, that can only go in one of these holes that goes in a specific direction. So this C button here corresponds to this C slot here, because it's got the 3-way with the one fat one. So that will drop right in there, and they all correspond to their respective holes in that way. So this one has like a north, a north one, a south one, and an east one. Well, that only will fit here. And how this one has I don't know why I'm using cardinal directions when clock makes so much more sense. A 12, a 6, and a 2. Well, that only will fit here. And this one has a 12, a 6, and a 4. And that will only fit here. And so on and so forth. And that is our buttons all in place. So now we just need to replace the membranes and we can put this guy back together. And with all those back in place, it is just a do what we did in reverse order to get this guy back together. So now we just got to put our plates, our handle plates back on, and those go on just very easily, just the exact same way they came off. And just pop right back in place. Oh, damn. So guess what I forgot to do? There's a little switch here that's supposed to go right there. So, yippee, my screw up, my stuff up, way to go me. Now how I always say, put stuff where you can see it so you'll remember that it's there, because you're a forgetful piece of work and you're gonna forget something, so make everything as visible as possible so you don't forget something. Yeah, well, I don't listen to my own advice quite often. So, yippee. Okay, so good to know. This actually is angled. So you want to make sure it goes back on the right way, which is with it angled back towards you if you're holding it like this. The switch is going to be angled down towards the bottom of the controller. Like that. And then we have a color accurate N64 controller from 8BitDo. And that's the way, personally, I feel like they should have looked from the start, but marketing, whatevers, this just looks better. And now when a game tells you to press the yellow button with the right arrow on it, you'll know what it's talking about. Well, that was definitely a touch more annoying than it should have been, but that was my fault, as you saw. Yeah, forgetting the mode switch on the back was really stupid, and I shouldn't have done that. But outside of that, that's a very easy change you can make to your controllers to make them feel a bit more authentic to how these games were originally meant to be played. You don't get the Trident controller, but you don't need it. Like this is a much more properly ergonomic design for a controller. It makes playing N64 games a bit more comfortable in the modern age. Instead of trying to figure out how the crap you're supposed to hold this thing to play whatever game you're playing, everything's just right where it's supposed to be, and it makes the gaming just a bit more fun. But I think that's gonna be it for me for this one. Thank you guys for watching, and I look forward to bringing you even more controller mod repairs type videos just like this one as the days go on. I wanna thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one, y'all.